we're gonna play that sound drop again. We're gonna listen to the sexy tones of Kevin
Yeah,
Costner.
boy.
Draft day.
Do it!
History in the making.
I love having the number one pick.
I just want the team that I want.
You got rogue.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
It's go time, boss.
Let's get busy.
All right, draft time.
Yes.
So let's lay out the rules here, chaps. We've done our AFLW fantasy. We're now onto the AFL men's fantasy. It's a 3-team league. It's just the three of us. It's only using players from the Cats team. And here's how it works. So your team rosters will be made up of a defender, a midfielder, a forward, and a flex player. And then you have 2 bench slots. So each week, those 2 bench players are part of your roster, but they don't earn points. If you're on the bench, you don't earn points. So points are earned. You get 1 point per disposal. You get 2 points for a mark, 2 points for clearances, 2 points for a tackle, half a point for a hit out, and 6 points per goal. Now, we may have to adjust things. I don't know. There's less goals kicked in the AFLW, so it suddenly struck me, a goal's going to be way more valuable. If you have a player who kicks 30 or 40 goals, is that going to really tip the scale of how the scoring works? I don't know. It's an experiment. We'll see how we go. I'm also in favor of working out our own, because the men's season is longer, some sort of 3-team playoff series. So it's not just the team that finishes on top. So you would have something like, the top team near the end of the season gets a bye into the grand final, and the other 2 teams play off for a week or something like that.
You know what else would be really interesting to do at the end of the season? And it probably wouldn't work because you probably look at the stats of every player all year. But if you got to the end of it and you were only looking at the stats of the players on our teams, and then at the end of it, right before the finals or the result, you get to pluck out a player that you think had a really good year, but not looking at their stats. Just think back and go, I'm going to add that player's stats, and then you look back and see how many, how good your memory is, and how much they will add to your squad, and how much it was just your bias, and you're like, oh shit, they weren't that good.
We need
a wild card pick at the end of the season.
Yeah, and I love that sort of stuff. I want to add the redraft potential, like a mid-season shake-up or something like that.
I'm going to do a 2-season redraft.
I think we can use redrafts at our discretion. I think, let's see how where we're at, say 8 games through the season, which is about a third of the way. And yeah, if we want to redraft, then maybe we have one. And then if we want one, 8 games later, maybe we have another one. I don't know how you boys feel. I'm happy to be just let's use it at our discretion, but we have the power when we want it.
We have the power.
Awesome.
I'm
All
happy
right.
to go with that.
So the draft order is the reverse order of the AFLW fantasy standings, unless you guys have any issue. It goes Sam, Johnny,
no issue at all.
myself, and we snake at the end of each round. All right. So we will be picking 21 players. We'll try and zip through it.
Let's make it fast.
Let's make it
Make
fast.
it fast, boys.
If you want to spice it up with a few players, if you give a little bit of this is why I'm picking them, this is why I think they're going to be really good, go for that as well. But just let's keep it succinct. Let's keep it moving for the listener. Sam, without any further ado, we needed some music for this.
We did. Did we have draft day?
Yeah,
Draft
I'll just
day
play
sounds
that
up.
for 20 minutes.
Every pick.
Yeah.
Starts again.
Sam, you are on the clock with the first overall pick of the draft.
I'm coming for blood this year. I'm
Do
going
it.
Tom Stewart out the gate.
Bang!
Oh,
Tommy
bang.
Stewart. Just because he's a legend.
I mean, yeah. I feel like if anyone needs me to explain that, they probably haven't been watching much of the cats or listening to this podcast. I mean, he racks up so many statistics. I mean, he's got to be effective, right? And also, I know how much Jake loves him. So if Jake gets someone's diary one that's having a good year, maybe I can wrangle them back with a trade or 2.
Sambo swipes. Tommy Stewart off the board with the first overall pick. Johnny, your first pick of the draft.
I'm going a forward I think you boys both know which one I'm going with. I'm going to take Jeremy Cameron.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice pick. Johnny takes Mr. Jeremy Cameron off the board as I struggle to find his name so I can pop him into the relevant spreadsheet part. So Johnny with Big Jezza Cameron. All right. Oh, that is interesting. Very interesting indeed. Like both your picks. I do. And now I'm on the turn. I am going to take, with my first overall pick, I'm going to take Tom Hawkins off the board.
Nice.
Here now with my first pick. Wanted to try and get a forward early because the three-headed monster wanted to try and make sure I get some goals. And on the turn, I'm going to grab a player who I had listed as either my number 1 or my number 2 pick and going to take the opportunity to grab him. I am going to take Cam Guthrie off the board right here, right
nice.
now. So Cam Guthrie for me to start the second round, and that puts Johnny back on the clock.
Oh boy, that's a tough one. But I'm going to take Zach Tui.
Zach Tui is off the board as the defenders fly off. Johnny grabs Zach Tui to add to his team. I like it a lot, John. Moroccan Sunset.
Thank you. So do I.
Sambo, it's back to you, and you've got the snake pick.
All right. Well, I got the 2 picks, the snake picks. I'm going to grab a forward. I'm going to grab Rowan out the gate.
Nice.
I will need to grab another one of those at some point, won't I? Because he's out for the start of the year. But everything
Sambo
for now.
Grabs Rowan. Yep.
And then I will grab Sam Menegola.
No worry.
Nice.
Sam Menegola. Now, realizing he is also under an injury cloud.
He's also out. Wow,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do you want to grab him, or are you going to
start exactly? Yeah, no, I will grab him because even if he's just on the bench.
It's a long season. It's a long season.
It is.
A long season.
Sam's playing a long game.
All right. Like that.
I was doing the W and it turned out real well.
And that puts Johnny back on the clock in the middle of round 3. Where are you going, Johnny?
I'm going flex, and I'm going a new player. I'm going with Tyson Stengel.
Johnny grabbing Tyson Stengel early. Johnny, what are you thinking with Stengel? You're just thinking like you can maybe double up on your helping of goals by getting a forward in that flex position. Is that the thinking behind the strategy?
It is that. I just feel like he's going to add that little extra X factor. I think he'll be able to get a few disposals, good marks, and I think his tackle pressure will be a really handy stat as well.
Mm-hmm.
But his goals will just be a bonus on top of Cameron. So, but I feel like he'll be good in the flex position, so because they can move in around if need be, or I'm excited to see him, so I thought I'll pick him.
I like it, Johnny. I am going to go ahead and with my pick of the third round, I'm going to go ahead and grab myself Joel Selwood.
Obvious choice.
Pair him up in the midfield with Cam Guthrie. I like Joel Selwood.
Nice.
And look, might be a bad time to buy stonks in Selwood. I don't know. We feel like we might be getting to the end of the journey.
You're not going to lose money. You're not going to lose. You might not make a lot, but you're not going to lose money on.
You're definitely going to get at least 20 points at a minimum each week.
Absolutely. All right, on my turn pick on the way back up, I'm going to fill my flex position. I'm going to grab Patrick Dangerfield and chuck him in my flex position.
I feel like Jake's setting up with the disposals and clearances, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
What about you, Johnny, as we get to the middle of the round 4? What are you going?
I'm going to pick a midfield, and I'm going with one of our favourites from last year with Brandon Parfitt.
Brandon Parfitt. I like it. A bit of a tackle machine, so that's handy. Obviously racks up his fair share of disposals, but those tackles in our league are handy because they're worth 2 points each. I think he was up there as one of the top 3, if not the leader for the Cats. Sambo, round out the 4th round, and then I'll recap where the teams are at, and then you can do your snake pick. So what's the finishing pick for round 4?
Finishing pick is my flex will be Jack Henry.
Nice.
Oh,
that's a good pick.
I gamble.
I'm just trying to rack up the points with marks, I think, at this point. Just Tom Stewart and Henry's marks. Come on.
I gambled that Henry would be there. I double dipped on midfield and Sam took it away. So after 4 rounds, we have Sambo's team of Tom Stewart, Gary Rowan, Sam Menegola, and Jack Henry. Sam's absolutely drafting to type. I love it. Sam's teams are always the same types of players, hard-working, gritty, can't fault them. Johnny goes with a bit of flair. Jeremy Cameron, Zach Toohey, Tyson Stengel, and Brandon Parfitt. I've gone midfield heavy. Obviously, I've got Hawkins up forward, but then I've gone Cam Guthrie, Joel Selwood, and Patrick Dangerfield. With that said, Sambo, get us underway in round 5.
It's really tough. Dangerfield was hoping to have him in especially with Menegola on the bench for possibly multiple weeks out the gate. So I'm going to have to try and fill that hole as best I can with Isaac Smith.
Nice pick. Nice pick. I was weighing up him and Dangerfield when I was picking. I really like. There's something when I looked at the stats when I was doing a bit of research for the draft. Isaac Smith features heavily in like the top 6 in a lot of categories for the Cats. Disposals, marks, even goals. He had 15 goals last season. So
he's not going to be the leader of the pack in any particular stat, but he's up there in all of them.
Absolutely. All right, Johnny, the middle of round 5.
One I was looking at. I'm going to take one that I think every Cats supporter has had high hopes for. We definitely did last year. And I'm going to take the Sparkle. Quentin Narkle.
Nice. Quentin Narkle, Sparkle Narkle, Johnny's middle pick of the 5th round. I like it. Big year for Sparkle in what a 1-year deal has he got? Yes. A 1-year contract?
1-year deal, yeah.
So I'll be looking to make a big impression, will Sparkle. All right, that leaves me at the bottom of this round. I am going to finally pull the pin on a defender. I'm going to go and grab Mark Blixarves and put him as my defensive pick. Really would have liked to have Jack Henry, but I do like Blixarves. I'm a big fan of the Blix. So essentially now...
I feel like Jake's trying to hint something, Sam.
Am I? What am I trying to hint?
Give me Henry!
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. It was a good pick. I snoozed and I lost. All right. Interesting now on the turn. Where do you go with this next pick? I'm going to grab, even though... this is a tough pick, actually. This is a really tough one. Defense is shallow. There's not a lot of defenders out there. This is a tough one. This is a really tough pick. But having said all that, I'm going to not get a defender. Instead, I'm going to grab Brad Close and pick him up as a second forward option with the first pick of the 6th round. Love his work. Love his long sleeves. Love his mustache. Johnny, it's back to you.
Back to me. On my first spot on the bench, I'm going to take Mitch Duncan.
No worries. Mitch Duncan, of course, under a little bit of an injury cloud coming in, but as you said, you can stick him on your bench. and look to play him out.
Insert him.
Absolutely. All right, Sambo, where are you going with your pick in the 6th round? Where? Sorry, I just realized I've got to put Johnny in there. Yep. All right, we're up to date.
Really tough one at this point. I think I'm gonna have to push some people around.
Yeah.
From position to position, a little bit. Excuse me while I make this decision.
No, that's all right. I can
as
vamp
quickly
if
as
you
I
need.
can. No, that's all right. Let me. I sort of had it worked out, and then you took close.
my bad.
No, that's all right. I've done it to you a couple of times. I am going to take in my other mid position.
Yes.
I am going to take Segler.
Jonathan Seg, big ruckman. Interesting choice there.
Interesting.
The big ruck for Sambo. Segler rocks in on the bench, which means
he'll actually. I think he'll be in my mid because I've got Menegola and Rowan
okay.
on my bench because they're both under a cloud. So I've just started that way.
Yeah, okay, no worries. And so that means we're on to the last round, the final countdown. Sam, who is your last pick of the draft going to be?
I really need a forward. I need a forward. So I'm going to go with, as much as I would actually love to put, because Zach Guthrie hasn't been picked up, has he?
No.
I'd love to put Zach Guthrie on my side, but I'm going to take Big Rat and chuck him in the forward.
Nice. I like it. Asava Radaglia off the bench. That rounds out Sam's 7 players, his 7 picks for the draft. Johnny, we're on to your last pick of the draft. Where are you going?
Yes. Oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough choice. There's still a lot of good players out there being left behind. But I'm going to take in my second bench position, Jake Colajasny.
Nice. I like that pickup a lot. So your second defensive player, Colajasny, is off the board with the second last pick of the draft. Okay, this is interesting. Interesting times. Lots of players off the board here. Lots of players off the board. It's tossing up for me between a defender and a midfielder. Trying to think. I kind of have 3 mids, but I could play all 3 if I wanted to. I can stick one in the flex.
Zach Guthrie.
Yeah, I'm looking at Zach Guthrie. Also looking at
Zach Guthrie. Zach Guthrie's a prime stonks buy, I think.
He is. He is indeed.
I don't know about fantasy, but I think stonks wise, I think people's expectation for him is below his output.
I think I have to.
Believe you. I'm right there.
I think I've got to put my money where my mouth is, though. Here, I think I've got to do it. And I've got to pick up a player that I've been spruiking forever and a day. I'm going to go and grab Max Holmes. I know it's another midfielder in my squad, but I've been talking him up for a good 12 months. So I'm going to grab Max Holmes and take him off the board. If I need to trade him out, I can. But that is the conclusion of the draft. So to recap, Sambo, Tom Stewart, Gary Rowan, Sam Menegola, Jack Henry, Isaac Smith, Jonathan Segler, Asava Radaglia. Johnny lines up with Jeremy Cameron, Zach Tui, Tyson Stengel, Brandon Parfitt, Quentin Narkle, Mitch Duncan, Jake Colajasny. I have Tom Hawkins, Cam Guthrie, Joel Selwood, Patrick Dangerfield, Mark Blixarves, Brad Close, and Max Holmes. I'm feeling a little light on defenders. They went early. I gambled. Sam took both of the guys I had listed as my top 2 defenders, with Stewart and Henry, both going. So I feel a little bit light on. I was really happy with the top end of my draft, but let's see how we go towards the end. What about you, chaps? How are you feeling about your teams after the draft?
Well, I basically got this list I basically wanted. There's just a couple I missed out on, Segler and Cameron Guthrie, but apart from that, I went in and got what I wanted, basically.
Yeah.
So I was very happy.
Yeah, no, I'm not disappointed. The only one I really missed out on was Big Jezza. Big Jezza
Yeah.
Cameron was gonna be in there with Rowan in my flex position.
Nice.
But apart from that, yeah, I think I got everyone that I was after.
Nice. Yeah. My big one, like I gambled and I gambled wrong with Jack Henry. I thought, oh, Sam's got Tom Stewart. He might not go as second defender, and then he went Jack Henry. So it's proof you should never gamble on it. But I think that
That's why I didn't gamble.
Give it a couple of weeks, and if you ask real nice, I might let you have him for Tom Organs.